All right, Hans Temmerstow here with Andre Rozier. How you feeling today, man?
What the deal? What the deal? What the deal, nephew? Happy holidays. Let's go.
All right, man. So let's jump right into it. Had the big heavyweight fight this weekend between Tyson Fury, Oleksandr Usyk. Usyk pulls it off again. The scorecards were definitely a bit more wider this time than the first time around. What did you think overall?
Well, I honestly believe that Usyk won the fight. It was a little less exciting than the first, in my opinion. I don't know. I just don't. I don't know. I don't know what's going on with Fury. He didn't pull up to the bumper. He was big. He was the bigger man. I mean, he could have laid on Usyk the whole fight and won the fight that way. I don't know what he was thinking. And hey, maybe it's time for him to call it a day.
Is it more so a case of Fury losing the fight or Usyk winning the fight?
I think a bit of both. A bit of both. Usyk was doing what he had to do, and Fury wasn't doing what he had to do.
Mm-hmm.
So I could really assess it to being a bit of both.
Do you believe that Tyson is definitively the second best heavyweight in the world, or do you kind of look at other guys like maybe an Anthony Joshua? He did just lose though. But Daniel Dubois, Martin Bakole, guys like that. Joseph Parker. Do you think Tyson is the second best, or would you put somebody above him?
Well, I mean, he's lost twice to the same man, so that can be a situation, or it could be that Usyk just has his number. But until I see him lose to another heavyweight, then I'm gonna have to say he still is number two. But the heavyweight picture right now is really wide open, which can be good, but I want to see more excitement out of it. I want to see these guys really fight each other to determine who is the top dog and start representing for real.
Now that statement would seem very unfair because you said it's very wide open, and you said you want to see them fight, to determine the top dog. Usyk should be considered the top dog.
Oh, he is. Don't get me wrong. He's number one.
So who, I guess, from that group of guys, and we'd probably have to take Fury out of it, unless you want to keep him in there, but who is the guy where you're just like, he would give Usyk the toughest fight? You'd probably still favor Usyk, but he would at least give Usyk a really hard time.
Actually, I like Parker. I like Parker for his speed, his finesse. He's not a big lumbering lummox of a fighter, just looking for one shot because they know they can. But yeah, I mean, there's some young guys coming up who seem to be making some noise. So, I mean, that picture really is wide open, nephew. Honestly, I can't say until I see more out of what's going on.
Does Parker beat Dubois when they fight on February 22nd?
Interesting fight. Interesting. I'm gonna say it's 50-50 now.
Is there anybody you're leaning towards a little bit? Both guys have resurrected their careers. So
right.
This fight is crazy.
I agree with you 100%. I have to side a little bit more with Dubois, but Parker, you can't count him out. The fluidity, the ability to stick and move and create moments with his hand speed, it's very, very, very interesting. I have to say 50-50. Is
Usyk definitively now the number one fighter in the world over your guy Terence Crawford? In a way, is Usyk yeah, we can't even deny him anymore?
Of course, you have to, for everything he's done. I mean, he's a mid-sized man fighting in a big man's world, and he's taking total control over it. So we have to give him that. We have to give those flowers.
Is there anything that Terence can do in order to regain that status, at least in your eyes?
The only thing he could possibly do at this point to regain that status is to beat someone of note in another weight class, and I think 54 is going to be enough for him. Him going up to fighting, quote unquote, if it should happen, Canelo, I don't see that ending well. It's just too much and too far to go. But that's what it would take. Usyk is on top of the world right now.
But I've heard you say, and I've heard other guys say that if Terence moved up to 68, it may not end well for him. There are a lot of guys that think he can pull it off, but isn't that like the mark of a true great fighter when they're just looking at the competition and they're favored against mostly everybody, but they want somebody where it's just like, okay, everybody's gonna doubt me now.
Well, yeah, of course, but in the weight class that he's in now, 154, there's enough smoke there where every fire department in New York would have to come out to put that flame out. It's a lot of smoke at 154. So I'd like to see him take control of that. I'd give him flowers for becoming undisputed at 54 also. But I think that's going to be a tough task. There's some really exceptional 154 pounders now, and they keep knocking it out. So I think, it would be a monumental climb to go up to 68 when there's so much work in 54.
Kind of like the question I just asked you about Usyk, but at 154 pounds, who is I know you got Crawford number one, so who is the second best guy? Is it the IBF champ that knocked off Tim Tszyu? Is it Sebastian Fundora? Is it Israel Madrimov, who just fought Crawford? Is it Virgil Ortiz? Who do you think, is it Errol Spence? Who do you think is the guy that's like, he's number two right now?
Hence, you just proved my point. That list you just ran off right there is like world class. Fantastic fighters all in the same weight class. I can't call anybody at this point. I have guys that I like. Tim Tszyu's conqueror was just brutal. And he's a big, strong, durable.
Is he the most dangerous, you think, maybe?
I would have to say yes. The way he controlled that fight and the way he really took Tszyu to task, I have to give him super props. I have to.
Is that the fight you want to see next most? Would you want to see that more than a Sebastian Fundora fight? Fundora's supposed to fight Errol Spence anyways, but is that the fight where you would want to see Crawford in the most next?
That would prove a lot to me. It's a dangerous assignment.
What would it prove to you?
That Crawford is ready to rule the 154-pound weight class.
Spence and Fundora are supposed to fight, like I just mentioned. Are you leaning towards Fundora because of the inactivity with Spence? We don't even know training him at the moment. He hasn't fought since July of 2023. So by the time he fights Fundora, it might be close to 2 years.
Yeah,
so
pretty close.
Would you favor Fundora over Spence?
I would have to. I would have to. A lot's going on. Errol took a savage beating in that Terence Crawford fight. There's no way there weren't repercussions. And if that's not bad enough, the fact that his history of being in car accidents and everything else, it won't bode well. That's collateral damage upon the body. So I'm of course gonna favor Fundora in that. And his psychological makeup right now, he doesn't have a trainer. I don't know who he's going to work with. That's going to be just a small moment in time. It's a lot of things going on. It won't bode well in a fight like that unless Fundora makes a mistake. And I think he learned from that last knockout that he received from making a mistake not to do it again.
Does Spence get knocked out in that fight? Does he get stopped?
I don't know if he gets stopped, but it's going to be a tough one.
Last topic, we didn't touch on it. A couple weeks ago now, Munguia got, knocked out kind of out of nowhere. What are your thoughts on Munguia as a fighter right now? Do you still believe that he's an upper echelon 168 pounder, or do you think all of the wars he's gotten into, they might be taking their toll on him, even though he's only like 27, I think, something like that?
Munguia, I say this. The shot was something that could happen to anybody. He got caught, he didn't see it, and put him down. My problem was the fact that he was knocked off his feet by a guy that only had 5 knockouts.
Actually 4 going in, 5 now. Yeah.
4 knockouts. whoa, that's like feather fist. I don't know what's going on. And we're all of a sudden this amazing punching power came for one shot to get him off his feet. But it could be one of those things. Just got caught at the right time. Usually he's durable and tough. He's been in some tough ones, and even though he still is young, those wars do have what we call accumulative damage upon you, and maybe that's what's going on now. We won't know more about it until he gets in his next fight. If it's a rematch with this young man, we see what happens. But he's going to have to show the world that he can still be that young man.
Apparently, if I'm not mistaken, I think he is gonna activate his immediate rematch clause. Is that something where you're just like, yeah, go run that one right back? Or do you think maybe you should take a step back or two and, you know, maybe fight somebody else besides that guy?
No, I don't think he needs to step back off of that one. He was doing very well in the fight. He actually dropped his opponent, and it was one shot. It wasn't like he even was being beat up. That's the thing that people have to understand. But you know, the boxing world is fickle. You know, it don't matter. It's not like the MMA world. In the boxing world, you get tipped in one shot. Oh my God, you're done. Go get the retirement party ready. It's crazy. So I wouldn't say that. I say go right back in, do what you were doing before. Don't make a mistake, and take care of your business.
Last thing, would you still favor Munguia in that fight, or do you think it's a possibility that the young man just might have his number?
Nah, I would still favor him. He was doing a good job until that happened, so I would still favor him.
Got it. Is there any clear contender for Canelo at 168 pounds? Should I can't really pronounce his name right. Saul, can't pronounce his name properly. The guy who just fought Munguia. Do you think he should probably try to? Well, he probably can't get out of the rematch anyways. But do you think he should probably try to angle for a Canelo fight? Like, is there like a true contender for Canelo?
No, nobody's taking that situation seriously. He even announced that he wants to fight at 160. That's even more ammunition for him not to be able to receive that fundamental payday. So, no, I don't think anybody. There's other fish in the water to get going. So let's see what happens there.
Gotcha. Thank you, Joe. Appreciate it.
Without a doubt. Happy holidays, everyone.